Hello everybody, it's Cherub. Today is August the 18th, it's Thursday, and welcome to the Diablo Daily. So really quick, if you haven't watched the recent interview with Jay Wilson, I highly recommend it. He doesn't go over too many things that are new, but he does talk about the beta a little bit, and he says that we'll be ready real soon, first of all, and second of all, it will be a closed beta. We pretty much already knew that. But he does say that we are going to have a lot of keys. So he says a fair amount of keys initially, and the plan is to add more keys as time progresses. So that's kind of new. We didn't really know if there were going to be a high volume of keys or not in the beginning or what, but that's good news. Easily one of the most interesting questions the interviewer had to ask was about the streamlining aspects of Diablo, which is they've decided to add like the cauldron, the Nephilim cube. So basically the question is, why have you decided to streamline all these new aspects of Diablo which weren't previously there? He tries to explain that these changes are not oriented toward casual players. They're designed basically for fun factor. So basically it's like, what's more fun? Going out and blowing up zombies with your giant axe of heathenness, or going into town, popping a portal, selling stuff, repairing, getting potions, going to the stash, resurrecting hirelings, all those things that they want to eliminate, at least commonly. You're still going to have to do these things, but the idea is to reduce the going into town and doing stuff that isn't really, quote-unquote, the funnest thing to do in Diablo. He also goes over the Real Money Auction House briefly, and just want to hit some highlights of what he said. He says the fee is flat. That fee is designed basically for server maintainability. Basically, if you want Diablo 3 to last for 10 years, the fee is there so that the RMH can stay, so that they can maintain the game. He says that it's a free market, which is what I said in the last cast. He says that it's all about supply and demand, which is also what I said in the last cast. He also says that players were already buying items anyway in Diablo 2. This was a means by which to facilitate that behavior in a much better way. The last topic Jay Wilson discusses is a criticism to skill points. In other words, the old Diablo 2 skill point system and why it was changed. So the old skill point system, he says, really does not cater to customizability, even though that's what the community has been outcrying. I mean, the community has been saying, you take away skill points, well, we don't have any more customizability. And he says that's actually not true, because in a skill point system, what you end up doing is, in order to maximize damage, you dump all of the skill points into one or two skills. One major criticism I did have about Jay Wilson's remarks is he says, unless you cap a skill, it's useless. And that's actually not quite true. You see, in Diablo 2, if you just put 1 point into teleport, it was a very useful skill to have. Or if you put 1 point into static field, that was a very useful skill to have just 1 point into. So it's not quite true that having skill points eliminates that need for just having like 1 point here or there. In the new system, you've basically replaced that 1 point that you wanted to put in teleport. You're putting that into one of your 6 skill slots. So you have to choose very wisely. Though that's kind of a good thing. You do have to choose very wisely about what skills you have. But to say skills were only useful when you max them out, that's not quite true. But one thing he does say that I really do like, which actually caters more to the passive skills, because he's referring to World of Warcraft in this instance. He says that adding skill points one at a time is kind of useless because the increment in power feels pathetic. So you gained a level, but you put 1 point into something and it increases it by like 0.1%. It doesn't feel awesome, which I agree with. Now, one of the things that he said that actually really does strike a chord with me is that most people with the skill system go to websites to copy cookie cutter builds, or they copy builds that have had a lot of thought brought into them, a lot of math or whatever. And this system is designed so that you can create a character using your intuition. And that to me is so awesome. Like, I remember back a long time ago when I was playing Diablo 2 for the first time. I played a barbarian for the first time, and I remember putting points into my first skill and being so pissed off to find out that later I was getting a new skill and it was meaningless that I had put 5 points into bash, because I'm going to get a better skill later, and it wasn't meaningful that I actually had all those points in these less powerful skills. Okay, so I want to shift gears just a little bit, and I want to talk about a forum post that was made on the Diablo fans forum by a Agent Spade. He asks, I'm a little concerned regarding Inferno and forced grouping. I've been reading posts, and many of the posters are excited that Inferno will be so difficult that grouping is going to be forced to complete it. Some are downright gleeful that solo players like me will not be able to complete it or farm it for the drops. Says one of the reasons why he wanted to quit MMOs is because he hates the making friends or you can't have the best gear mentality. So I'm just going to leave you guys with that question. Do you think that this is even true? I mean, some of the people on the forums have said, well, they haven't actually confirmed this at all, so it may not even be true that you have to group with your friends. But if it is true, do you think that that's a good thing or a bad thing? So I'm just going to leave it open for debate, and you guys respond with whatever you think. And I think that will conclude the Diablo Daily for today. I will see you guys tomorrow.
Logically, they would give it all to you for free, and everyone would give you things for free, and you would swim in donuts and happiness forever.